You have arrived in Silent Hill. The streets are empty, though that's a little surprise at barely past 6 in the morning. The ominous fog concerns you a little more. It's become so thick you don't feel safe driving any further into town. Looks like you'll have to make the rest of the trip on foot. You rummage in your car's trunk for anything you might have forgotten, but there's only your spare tire and a bunch of cans and bottles you should have returned weeks ago. There's nothing interesting here. Why did I even look? You approach the row of shops on the closer side of the street. The first building you come to appears to be an old, rather grimy second-hand clothes shop. It also appears to be open for business, which is a little strange at this time of morning. You're not sure, but sounds like someone inside is talking. You cautiously enter the building and look around. The long room is dimly lit by old flickering fluorescent lights, which do little to hide the dingy look and scarred walls of the store. Though every inch of the place is crammed with racks of old clothes, you doubt they see many customers here. In the center of the room there's a staircase. Surprisingly, the building is more than one floor. You listen again for the voices you heard. It's silent when you enter, but after a moment you hear it again, louder now that you're inside, but still strangely unintelligible. Muttering almost. Slightly self-consciously, you call out, hello? Is anyone there? Your voice loud in the quiet morning. No voice returns your call, but the muttering stops altogether, and the room falls into silence. This makes you rather uneasy. You make your way to the stairs, hoping to look upstairs to find out what you're hearing. However, as you approach, you discover the steps are coated with a shining red substance. What the hell? Is this blood? There's a sudden and loud knocking, a bumping noise, possibly coming from above you. You've become extremely uneasy with whatever might be waiting up the stairs. You turn around, hoping to find something with a little heft to protect you before you proceed in your curiosity. Unfortunately, you're not afforded the time to find anything of use before a loud and sickeningly wet thud occurs on the landing. What the hell is that? Something, you don't know how else to describe it, has crawled down to the landing and raises us to an approximation of uprightness. Its writhing limbs are misshapen and mispositioned. Its bloated cylindrical tongue whips and lashes from its mouth. The thing contorts its body and half wriggles, half crawls its ways down the stairs, tongue writhing and whipping, as if tasting the air. You try to back away, but behind you you hear knocking again, and suddenly feel a terrible jolt. You jolt up in panic and look around for the monster. It's not there. You're in your car. Slowly you remember. You arrived at the edge of Silent Hill around 5:30 a.m. Not a reasonable hour to go find anyone. So you pulled into a parking lot and tried to catch a few more hours of sleep. The weird fog, empty shop, and thing were all just part of a bad dream. The knocking sound, however, continues. Someone is knocking on your window. You roll down your window, greeted by a cool breeze off the lake, and a police officer looking at you with a mixture of annoyance and concern. You stammer a greeting, and he tells you, "Miss, this is a private lot. You can't sleep here. Do you need some assistance?" "I'm sorry, officer. I was so tired. I guess I didn't check. Thank you for waking me up. I'm here to visit my uncle. I think he's staying at the Lakeview Hotel. Maybe you could tell me how to get there?"
No offense, miss. I don't think your uncle's there. The Lakeview burned down a few years ago. Made the local news."
Great. Now you have little to no idea where to look for James. You fish your picture out and show it to the cop. "This is my uncle, James Sunderland. If you see him, would you let me know? My name is Vanessa Sunderland, by the way."
"Pleasure to meet you, Miss Sunderland. I'm Sergeant Sean Van. I'll keep an eye out."
"Pardon me for asking, but does your uncle know you're here looking for him?" "He called me. He was in Silent Hill, but he just forgot to say where, I guess. If the Lakeview is gone, are there any other hotels I can check?"
"Well, let's see. There's the Grand Hotel, which pretty much took Lakeview's place, but you might want to look in the Riverside Motel. Or Norman's Motel, too, I guess. That place doesn't draw such a classic crowd.
You're hoping you'll find James at one of the ones he mentions, but if not, you'll at least need a place to stay while you look. You get directions from Van to all 3 of the lodgings, and thank him for his help. Send your car as he departs. You ponder your possible next step.
A part of you wants to go by the lake view,
just to make sure it really has burned down.
a part of you wants to go visit the nearest bar. That part's probably not entirely devoted to your uncle.